Would you like to hear a story about one of my favorite Alaskan characters?
Yeah.
Okay, the character is John Muir. He had boundless enthusiasm for the outdoors, and he also had boundless energy, fortunately. He arrived in Alaska in 1879. Where he arrived was in Wrangell. And he was totally unimpressed with Wrangell. He said it was the worst place that he had ever been in his life. But it was pretty rough. And the Russians were gone, and right now, or by this time, it had turned into a community of prospectors, basically, going up the Stickeen River to the goldfields. He actually decided that in order to get a better view of the surrounding area, he should climb this hill behind town. So one afternoon, on a rainy, dismal, horrible day, he decided just before nightfall that he would climb up on top of the hill, which he did. So he started climbing. It was really tough going. It's very steep. And the Russians and the prospectors had cut every tree off of that hill. So there were no trees up there at all. But there was a lot of debris, the slash that was left behind. That's the tops of the trees and the branches, the bark, any dead or defective trees or anything. They just leave them in the woods. Well, he got all the way to the top of the hills, and because it was a stormy, nasty, nasty day, he was totally wet and cold. So he wanted to get a campfire going so that he could dry out a little bit and warm up. He gathered up enough dry material from under the existing down timber, and he managed to get a little fire started. And then he fed more things on it, and more, and the wind blowing so hard really helped to get this fire going good. Well, as it got going, it illuminated the area around there a little bit, so then he could see he could get more. He could put branches on there, he could put all kinds of stuff on this fire. It was having a good time. And he got the fire going so good that he ended up putting whole trees on that fire. You know, everything he could possibly move ended up on the fire. It was a tremendous fire. The people down in Wrangell couldn't see the fire, couldn't see the flames, couldn't see the fire, couldn't see the smoke. What they could see was the low clouds going overhead and all of the lights displayed on the clouds. And it was every color you could imagine. The clouds were moving fast. This pyrotechnic display going on up there. Well, the people down at the bottom didn't know what to think. They were scared to death. They had no idea what was happening up there. Well, so during the night, John made himself a little lean-to, and he settled down and spent the night up there. And in the morning, the fire was out, and he came down off the hill to be met by a group of people from the community wondering what exactly had been going on the night before. And the trail now has been much improved. There's stairs and there's railings, and there's a beautiful view spot up at the top. There you can see the panoramic view. The sign at the bottom of the hill says Mount Dewey, but the real official name of that trail is the John Muir Trail.